about our information search and analysis skill, or we call it as ISAS. Our ISAS title is Implementation Single Sign-On in Google. And before we start our presentation, let me introduce ourselves. My name is Natasha Shekina Marsauli Sihaan, and my partner is Evlides Marima Hutosoid. We are from class 4 SC5 and we are from group 2. Today, I want to tell you why we choose this topic for our ISAS. As you know, the development of technology is increasingly day by day, and it makes the system security more important for many people now. This is because if there is an information and the system is not really secure, the system can easily accessed by unauthorized people. And if the information is misused, it will detriment the owner of the information itself. Sending data and communication on the internet must have the strong security level. There are many ways to secure our account data on the internet. For example, we can use password, we can use code, etc. But such security doesn't guarantee our data is totally safe 100%. It could be our data hacked, or even we as the owner of the account forget the password. So many scientists and programmers do some research to find the data with the most secure life. Information system security in the world of information technology, or IT, is a digital defense, both internally and externally, on its asset, defense from the existing threats. This defense include detecting threats, taking precautions, and what action are taken against them. Information system security has 4 basic objectives, namely confidentiality, availability, integrity, and the last is legitimate use. And for secure the information or data security, it is divided into 2 types. First is access control, and second is monitoring for system attacks. And access control have 3 stages. First is user identification, second is user authentication, and third is user authorization. Okay, let's go to the next topic. The next topic is authentication. What is authentication? Authentication is a process of validating user identity by verifying user-provided evidence. To manage user authentication, there are several techniques. First, I'm gonna explain you about the token-based authentication. Token-based authentication, for example, like key cards, bank cards, and the others. And second is biometric-based authentication. For example, is fingerprint, iris scan, and face recognition. And the last is the knowledge-based authentication. For example, knowledge-based authentication, there are graphical password and alphanumerical password.
Single sign-on is a mechanism that uses single authentication to allow authorized user to enter and access all related facilities. However, the system or software is independent, meaning that the system will not ask to enter again during a certain season. This reduces the risk for administrator to centrally manage users, increases user productivity by enabling mobility, and allows users to access some of the services that have been provided afterwards with a one-time confirmation. Briefly, single sign-on is a login authentication system that allows a user to access multiple systems with just one account. Security Assertion Markup Language, or SAML. Our topic is about single sign-on in Google implementation. And Google offers a SAML-based single sign-on service that gives partner companies full control over authorization and authentication of hosted user account, which can access web-based applications such as Gmail or Google Calendar. SAML is an open standard SSO protocol that provides assertion-based authentication and authorization function in the form of XML.
This is an illustration of how SAML and SSO works, namely by sending a user's identity from a place or identity provider to the service provider. The following things will happen. The first, users access the application remotely by using a link on the internet, then the application will be loaded. The second, The application will identify the user based on the application subdomain, the user's IP address, or others and redirect it to the identity provider to request authentication. The third, the user either has an existing active browser session with the identity provider or establish one by logging into the identity provider. The fourth, the authentication response is then sent by the identity provider in the form of an XML document containing the user's name or email address of the user. The signs it using an X509 certificate and post this information to the service provider. The fifth is service provider who already know the identity provider and have a certificate fingerprint, tag an authentication response and validate it. And the last, the user's identity is created and the user is given application access.
So next we're gonna discuss about how authentication works, but now we're gonna discuss authentication work without single sign-on. When we access a web or application, and if the web or application doesn't implement single sign-on or SSO to their system, it means their system has its own database to store user information and their respective credentials. So what happened when we open the website? What is the process? I'm gonna explain to you. As you can see, there are two pictures. First is user request access, and second is the pictures when user is granted access and then request access to the new site. First is the web or application will check whether the account used when accessing has been authentic or not. If so, access rights will be granted. The second, if not, the web will ask the user to enter the username or maybe email and then enter the password, and then they will match it to the user information database. The site passed the authentication verification. Do you move through the site to verify that you are authenticated each time you go to the new page. Verification of data is usually forwarded in the form of tokens or cookies with session data to further speed up the process and not track the session. Okay, next let's discuss about how single sign-on works. As you can see, there are two pictures. First is user request access with SSO, and second is when user is granted access and then request access to a new site with SSO. I will explain you the process. First, when we open the web or application, the web or application will check whether the account used has been authenticated with SSO or not. If yes, access right will be granted. If you haven't, it sends you to the SSO solution to log in. And then next, the user should put their name and password used for access. The SSO next will request authentication from the identity provider or authentication system used, and then will verify the authentication and send the notify to the SSO solution. Next, SSO will continue the authentication and open the website again. And the last process is after logging into the application or website, the site verifies that you are authenticated every time you open a new page.
Single sign-on implementation on Google. Google uses Security Assertion Language or SSL provider to user authentication. When logging into G Suite, user will be directed to the screen on the main G Suite page to confirm their identity. What is the purpose? The first is protection against phishing attacks. This screen helps prevent Chrome browser users from unknowingly logging into account created and controlled by attackers. And second is create a consistent identity. This new security feature is part of a larger
This is the explanation about the XML-based SSO service process in Google. The first is the user tries to access a hosted Google application, such as Gmail, the Start page, or other Google services. The second is Google is making a SAML authentication request. SAML requests are encoded and pinned to the URL for partner SSO service. The relay state parameter containing the URL encoded from the Google application that the user is trying to reach is also embedded in the SSO URL. This relay state parameter is intended as an opaque identifier that is passed back without modification or checking. The third is Google send a redirect to the user's browser. The redirect URL contains an encoded SAML authentication request that must be sent to the parameter SSO service. The fourth is the partner decodes the SAML request and extracts the URL for Google's Assertion Consumer Service or ACS, and the user's destination URL or relay state parameter. The partner then authenticates the user. Partner can authenticate users by requesting valid login credential or by checking valid session cookies. And the fifth is the partner creates a SAML response that contains the username of the user who has been authenticated in accordance with SAML 2.0 specifications. This response were digitally signed with public and private partner DSA or RSA keys. Sixth, the partner encodes the SAML response and ready state parameter and return the information to the user's browser. Partner provides a mechanism for the browser to forward that information to Google ACS. For example, partner can embed SAML response and destination URL in a form and provide a button that users can click to send the form to Google. Partner can also enter JavaScript on pages and automatically send forms to Google. The seventh, ACS Google verifies SAML responses using a partner's public key. If the response is successfully verified, ACS redirects the user to the destination URL. And the last is the user has been redirected to the destination URL and logged into Google.
And weakness SSO on Google. The first is strength of single sign-on in Google. So many organizations use G Suite, yet there is a very large market for users with existing Google logins. And the second is your team no longer has to handle a process password resets. Users always use their Google credential. The third is save time for your users. Making an account and subsequent logins become easier. And last is you can reduce the risk. When users are asked to create a password, they will often create passwords that are easy to remember and even the same pattern, which may be a security risk. But if you offer them the opportunity to use their login from Google, they will more often choose safer and easier options. Because you don't save password for them, your data is better protected. The weakness of single sign-on in Google. The first is vulnerability issues, such as with authentication, privacy keys, and etc. The second is lack of stronger backup authentication, such as a smart card or a one-time password token. And the third is SSO is very critical tools to always follow. If SSO goes out, user will lose all the time. And the fourth is it will be very important to have a good password, which is very difficult to break. With with just one account. With the single sign-on system, an application system user is only required to authenticate once to enter all the services contained in the application system. Suggestion: there are several weaknesses of single sign-on in Google that we have explained before. And for that, we advise all of you who use single sign-on on Google to add account protection, such as use of two-step verification that has been provided by Google for better security.